It's me, a movie review. Welcome back to That's a Wrap, the show where I review TV shows and movies. If you couldn't tell by the little small intro, I will be reviewing the Illuminations and Nintendo collab Super Mario Bros. And let me tell you, I loved it. As a 90s kid, the nostalgia factor was through the roof. The Easter eggs were so appreciated. The animation was on point. The voice acting was on point. I thought it was a very simple plot, but a very followable plot. I thought, me personally, you didn't have to be a Nintendo fan to follow the very basic story. It was a lot being thrown at you, but given that this is probably intended for us and for kids, you know, the under 40 crowd that grew up on Mario and those games, I felt that they did a very good job, an extremely good job. And I think the criticism that the critics, not the public, because according to Rotten Tomatoes, even though I don't really like using them as setting the bar, because I think a lot of those ratings from those critics are so hypocritical that according to the people rating, it's like at 98, I think, when I checked it, but the critics score is like at 45. That lopsidedness knows that the critics are not in tune with what people really wanted to see in this movie, because what people wanted to see in this movie, they got. And what the critics wanted to see, they didn't get. I don't know what more they wanted. I mean, Peach was strong. She was assertive, but she was also very feminine. She was drawn very feminine. She was, you know, a leader, ruling the Mushroom Kingdom, and that still wasn't good enough. You can't really get inclusive with Mario without upsetting a bunch of people. And I thought that they balanced that very, very well. I think this criticism that this movie is getting is solely because of Chris Pratt voicing Mario, even though I thought he did a great job. No one's talking about Luigi. No one's talking about Bowser. No one's talking about Princess Peach. No one's talking about Toad. They don't sound anything like they did in the game, but no one's talking about them. But because, you know, Chris Pratt is polarizing, because he is a white Christian, because he has a certain view of the world through his eyes, and in which is astonishing to me, that in this day of being an individual, of being free to be who you are, that Chris Pratt can't be free of who he is without getting a bunch of criticism. So what he believes in God, so what he believes in the Christian faith, so what he has a certain standard. But you know, the fact that Hollywood or some people that are criticizing this movie are like, no, you have to conform to this type of thinking, is utterly not only hypocritical, moronic to me. That they're not judging just this movie just on the fruits of this movie. But anyways, little rant over. I thought the whole thing was just great. Again, it's simple. The plot is that Mario and Luigi get separated, and Mario spends most of the movie trying to rescue him. That's it. That's the plot. It's that simple. But again, this was just a nostalgia trip. This is the first movie. This is like the Iron Man of this movie. This is the movie that is the foundation for all other works to happen. I can't wait for Luigi's Haunted Mansion to come out. They hinted at Mario, the Super Mario Galaxy, you know, where he's out they hinted at that like at least 3 or 4 times throughout this movie. I can't wait for maybe the sequel, which is going to be a Mario Yoshi movie, where we learn that bond that he has, like many of us have bonds with our cats or our dogs. I can't wait to see how Nintendo, you know, does that and brings that to life and makes us fall in love with these characters even more. I hope that Illuminations doesn't get, you know, put off with all this negative criticism that is pushed, because according to us, the public that watched this movie, we loved it and we want more. Give us more, give us more, give us more. But anyways, those are just my thoughts. For me, this movie gets an A rating. It was close to perfect, but not quite there. There was some issues. I did think that the plot was very simplistic, but in that simplicity came the beauty of it, that you didn't have to overthink. You could just enjoy the visual spectacle. I will say that maybe watching this in 3D is the way to go, just to get the full-on experience of the gloriness that is this animation, because it's just stunning, 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 stunning. And I can't say enough for this movie. I completely enjoyed it, and this is a thing to come from this Nintendo Illumination collab. I can't wait. So for me, this movie gets an A rating. But anyways, those are just my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And like always, that's a wrap.